Hey everybody, Tim and Terry here from Money Matters for Everybody.
Hi.
Hope you're doing well.
Having a beautiful day. It was a beautiful weekend here in
It surely was.
Are we considered the Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast? I never know.
We're right on the edge.
Somewhere between there. Today I wanted to talk to you about, I keep notes throughout the week and about subjects that I'd like to talk about with our viewers. And one of them is talking about, as we are in baby steps 4 through 7 and talking about building wealth, one of the things that we is considering is rental properties, investing in real estate properties.
Yeah, it's something we've been researching and, kind of doing our due diligence before we really start jumping in earnest. But as we've been doing our research and everything, we're kind of seeing a downward trend in the market a little bit. So
A correction.
It's
not, the market is not necessarily gonna drop, but
by doing our research,
killing me with the volume smalls.
by doing our research and taking our time to do it slowly, we're not going to be
Definitely.
jumping in at the peak of
Right. And that's
market.
one of the things I think we're both very much aligned on, is that we don't want to add additional unnecessary risk to us, our relationship, our family, our legacy. But recently, and yeah, we have been studying real estate for at least a year.
Yeah.
I'm going to say at least a year. We follow Bigger Pockets. We are very familiar with the Burr method of investing in real estate. I have some concerns about concerns about the refinance part.
Right. So B and a couple R's, not
Yes.
all of them.
I do agree that when you purchase property, you make your money in the purchase price of the house. So if you know your neighborhood where you want to invest in real estate and you're willing to put yourself out there and business develop in that area and find houses that are potentially distressed and find ways to purchase properties that are distressed, then there's some potential. I do take issue, some concern over refinancing, because I think that building your empire on debt is a huge mistake. I don't think it's impossible to build your empire without debt. I do think it would slow you down a bit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think our approach to how we would want to go about investing in real estate would be to try to do it with as little debt as possible. So if you're able to get a house that's below market and rehab
rehab
pay
it,
cash for it,
and then rent it out.
Yeah.
Because here's the huge concerns, and this is really the purpose of this video. As I was writing notes this week, or actually this one just came up this morning, I have some serious concerns about rental properties as passive income. So can we talk about number one? Real estate is not passive income.
Yeah, I mean, even though you're not physically having to go to a job 9 to 5 every day with your real estate investments, to say it's passive income is a little misleading, because you're still going to have to do a lot of work.
Correct. Passive income is the thousands of dollars we have sitting in a high yield savings right now. That money, we do nothing but let it sit in that bank, and it will earn a couple $1,000s a year of interest for us. That is passive income. The second type of passive income, if you write a book or you write courses or you have templates that you sell on whatever platform, you do the work one time, you put the work in, you put the product out there, and you make sales, you promote it. That is likelier. It's definitely more passive. It's less passive than high yield savings. It's more passive than real estate investing. But real estate investing is not passive income. It simply is not. And if you choose to take out debt for your real estate investment, it's a huge risk, right? Yeah. And that's something that I struggle with. That's personally what I'm struggling with. I'm not sure that I'm convinced that you can grow paying cash as you go. Not that we're not going to look at that opportunity and that option. But the second piece of it is and I heard Dave Ramsey say it when we were actually at the studio, I think it was, that people say that somebody else will pay your mortgage. And the truth is that when you have a real estate investment property and if you have a mortgage on it, you are responsible for making those payments.
Right.
So the government could come along during a national pandemic or a global pandemic and say, we're going to put a rent moratorium in place. And all of a sudden your renter, who may or may not have been raised with the same values that you are, is like, whoa, I don't have to pay my rent this month or next month or the following month. And that pandemic drug on forever.
Yeah.
I feel like that rent moratorium went on forever.
Yeah, and just like, with the values of paying the bills on time, you don't know how they're going to treat your property. I mean,
No, yeah, you definitely can't count on a renter to take care of your property the way that you would.
Yeah, I mean, because they're on a 1-year lease, and then in 12 months they could be moving out and have completely trashed your place, which will require a lot of effort, money, and downtime, where you're again not
Renting.
collecting any rent.
Yeah.
Because of the time it's going to take to rehab it again after
Yeah.
you've already rehabbed it once you purchased it.
I've heard stories about toilets and rental properties and the plumbing and oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
But then also wanted to talk about like the market will correct. So one of the things that's held us back this past year from investing in real estate is the high prices in the market. Are there deals out there? I'm sure, but we're not experts yet at that, at
Right.
business development and finding those properties. But the housing market is really high. I think it's going to correct, but that doesn't mean that it's going to drop. So real estate inventory is still a huge issue in this area, but the housing market changes. So I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, this is great. Like I bought another property and I'm happy for them. I really am. If you have real estate investment property, like we applaud you. Like you're at a different level than we are. And we definitely are cheering on the sidelines for you, but we hope you're not dumb. And for us right now, purchasing high and really not knowing what we're doing would be dumb. It would be dumb. Taking
Right.
out a mortgage on on a real estate investment property would be dumb. Taking out a mortgage on a second vacation home at the beach might not be dumb. I could be convinced about that.
Yeah, so something that we'll be using and
then
could
renting out.
could potentially rent out
But-
for some of the time, but would not be thought of as solely as a
Investment
income
property.
producing property.
Yep. And then insurance went up last year, and that's something that'll probably go up again this year. Relocations, migrations from, I think Pennsylvania was included in the list of the top 8 states where people fled from last year. The number wasn't nearly as high as California. I think we had like 30,000 that left PA. Probably went down to Florida, Texas, more of the tax-friendlier states and the states that bucked the lockdowns a good bit because freedom reigns over everything. And honestly, I love Florida, but I don't think I could live there. I just don't think it's hot and humid all the time. And they don't need me. They got plenty of people down there. So what else? I have some notes here. So it's just kind of a thought that so your prices are going to go up, your rates are going to go up, your insurance rates will go up. People, you might be like, oh, I'm able to charge like $2,500 a month in rent. Well, that's now. But when people start fleeing the state and rental inventory goes up, you're going to have to lower your prices, your rent, and potentially if you get into a situation where you need to sell it, selling real estate is still costly. Like you still have to pay like a 1% transfer fee typically.
Yeah,
I'm not a real
closing
estate agent,
costs.
so I'm not an expert, but you still have closing costs. So I really think that the only time it makes sense is when you're buying significantly under the market.
Yeah.
Anyhow. The banks are not going to allow you, if your renter says, I lost a job, I got cancer, I can't pay my rent, the banks are not going to be in a position to say, that's okay, you don't have to pay us your mortgage.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you were going to take that step, and one of the things that's been holding us back is, we believe that if you're going to buy rental properties, you should have a significant reserve to cover 6-12 months worth of that mortgage payment and the utility bills, so that if you have a renter that's not paying you, or you have an extended period of vacancy, you're still making those payments, and your credit, your name is
Still
not,
intact.
being affected.
Even if you have an LLC.
Right.
Absolutely. And the other thing that just came to mind when you were saying that, I actually was wondering if, with the economy kind of taking a hit, if these banks are going to start calling in these mortgages for these real estate investment properties. That's what happened to Dave Ramsey back in the day. He did not default on his loans. He actually had a banker come in. The bank had a change in management and decided that they needed to de-risk with this young 20-something who had too much risk, even though he was making his payments. So it's something to consider. And I think that anything else am I thinking of? So we'd love to hear your ideas, comments, feedback. There is no quick get rich. Unfortunately, there isn't. We don't believe in taking on more debt to make more money. We know that Robert Kiyosaki, that's one of his strategies. He's all in on taking debt, buying debt from the bank and turning it into money. That I feel like makes me sick to my stomach. So we won't be doing any of that. Thank you very much. And that I think that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
But it just also reminded me, I had a little statement here. Remember when my dad said when he bought a boat that the two most favorite days of his life in boat ownership was the day he bought it and the day he sold it. And it kind of made me think, I think that there's some people I've kind of heard say that similarly in the boards, right, out there on the Better Pockets boards. And so it's just something you want to be smart, right?
Yeah.
Passive income, real estate is not passive income. So it's something that you really need to take seriously, and you need to be very vigilant about that. You could potentially risk your family's legacy by making a dumb mistake.
Right.
So, anywho, I hope this was helpful and not too much of a Debbie Downer episode. But if you have comments, experiences, please feel free to share. We'd love to hear other people's experiences, but also recognize that not everything you see online is actually true. Right. So there's a lot of people signing paperwork to take on these mortgages, and again, we're happy for you, but we don't believe half of the stuff we see. There's that too. So, all right, guys, we hope you have a great week. Be productive and get to work.
God bless.
Bye.